Honestly, I'll take any possibility right now. If I were him, I would have probably pushed for the first couple of laps and then just ease off and try not to crash. Especially with the sticky walls that we have on this Suzuka race. It's gonna be a tricky one because even a small mistake can make you DNF.
Yeah. So the formation lap underway here then, and the 2 hours of Suzuka prepares to begin. And the drivers will make their way single file around the lap until they head towards the last corners, at which they will get ready for a double file rolling start, as is tradition here in GT World Challenge. This is your first race, then make sure you follow, subscribe, and check out all our links and descriptions if you want to take part and find out more about BeamGP and GT World Challenge here. It's our third round of the season, of course, with Catalan winning last time out at Watkins Glen. And I think endurance races giving out more points, so it's going to be important to try and finish these ones and pick up as many points as you can, because it could produce a big swing in the standings, whether that be drivers or constructors. And look at the rest of the field from the back of Jamie's Shadow Racing here. And you can actually see a bit of a tyre smoke coming off of Kimi Dakunda's car there, a bit of desync. And I think if race control can hear me, it might be good if I'm able to reset that, as that is dropping my frames quite a bit here. But drivers making their way around the hairpin for the first time in the race on the formation lap here. And you can see the McKenna cars lining up at the back. Black Demon will probably be looking to improve, along with the likes of JTR, who will be hoping for an improvement too. And let's see if I can reset the car. I still can't reset the cars. And a reminder from race control that all drivers can reset if they have a lap 1 incident. And then after that, they've also got 1 free reset for the rest of the race as well. So if you see someone DNF, it doesn't mean it's all over. They still have 1 more chance. And now drivers will double up and get ready to start the race here. I really need a reset on Kimi's car, if that can be done. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to reset this car though before we get underway here. But in the meantime, it will be Catalan who leads them away, and he will be going alongside with car driver Jamie in P3 ahead of Toomey, and then Kimi Dakunda, Train Raider, JTR, Tudor from Hell, Black Demon, and the McKennas at the back of Goose and Nevena. And they try to ensure that they stay double file, and we will get ready for the start here for 2 hours around Suzuka, round 3 of GT World Challenge Season 7. The drivers will wait for the lights. The start lights are called, and we are underway for the 2 hours of Suzuka. Toomey over Turi, giving car driver a little booster, and Jamie already looking to try and challenge for the race leader along with Kimi Dakunda. They're going to make their way into turn 1. Drivers not wanting to take too much risk here though on the opening stages, and Jamie tried his best to fight Catalan for the lead of the race, but wasn't quite able to do so. Kimi Dakunda was able to make his way up into P3, and Train Raider has also managed to get into P4. I think a few cars struggling, and there's that Tudor from Hell going off in the background through the sand. He's having a bit of problems here. There's all sorts of issues at the back. JTR also off, going through the sand, and I think that's a C's as well. McKenna Racing being caught up in that incident, and JTR falling all the way to at the back. But you can see Catalan Racing leads from Jamie, then Kimi Dakunda, Train Raider, Toomey, car driver has fallen all the way down to P6. He's had big issues at the start of this race, and a huge drama there. I don't know if you saw anything more than I did, Vayavi, but what happened at the back?
Yeah. A really chaotic start, especially for GTR, but you can really see how Shadow Racing is keeping up with Caddy and are being aggressive. So we can probably assess that they have a even more crazier strategy coming up. It's going to be interesting.
And feel free to cut across me if you see anything interesting happening at the back. But for now, drivers will potentially just settle down a little bit and begin their plans and their strategies. You can see car driver's tyres are already freezing if that's not desync, and potentially now he's looking to line up a move on Toomey as they go side by side up towards 130. It looks like he just backs out of this one to avoid any drama with the Kanori Racing car. And Toomey lives to see P5 and hold on to P5 for another lap or 2. Excellent start from Train Raider, you have to say. But do you think he'll be able to hold that position in front of these guys?
Yeah, I think he will. I mean, he has always been a really good defender, so we'll see. We'll see. But as we go, TGR has overtook Goose, so he is trying to fight his way back to the front rows, and he actually overtook C's. So
yeah, I think C's has come into the pits potentially with some lap 1 damage, and that is already a bad start for McKenna Racing, who weren't looking like they were going to do much to affect the outcome of this race anyways. And C's already into the pits at the end of lap 1 here. Actually, both McKennas in the pits, so I wonder if they've both picked up damage. And you're right, that has allowed JTR to get into P9 here. Closest cars on track are the Shadow Racings and the guys fighting for P6. I believe you can see they're all actually still reasonably close out there. And if you see all of the smoke coming off of Kimmy's car, then that is just desync, of course. It looks like his brakes are dragging on our screen, but I'm sure his tyres are just fine on his. And he is sticking with his teammate and looking to hunt down Catalan Racing, who, like we said, has got that increased tyre. I mean, let's have a look and see if we can see the difference between Jamie, who is about 80, high 80%, and Kate, also similar, but on colder tyres. So that could be interesting as we head towards 130R for the second time in this long race. Do you think Jamie will try and pounce on Kate if he gets the opportunity to?
Of course. Jamie needs to really get that P1. You can see that he is being really aggressive with it. He's already in the slipstream, actually, and he is catching up to Caddy. Maybe we can see the battle for the first turn as he flashes his lights to try to scare Caddy into making a mistake.
A little bit of mind games there from Jamie. He's definitely not one to shy away from those tactics. But I think it's going to take a bit more than that to try and dislodge Matteo Catalan from the lead, don't you say?
Yes. We can see that Kimi is actually getting a little bit away from Jamie. Maybe he has some technical problems, or he is not in the mood of driving. As we go to the to the tricky corners, Jamie can gain a lot of time on Caddy, and he actually does. He gains 1/10 of a second. Will he be able to actually overtake Caddy? That is the question. He makes a small mistake, locks up his brakes, and Kimi getting the opportunity.
Jamie getting very wide there, you're right, coming out of the hairpin. And Kimi might just have a look at the sniff, to sniff the rear end of his teammate, excuse me. But making their way through the spoon curves now, and not passing quite yet. But you have to say, these three cars have all absolutely cleared and blitzed the rest of the field so far. Already a 7-second gap back down to Train Raider. And then even further when you look at the likes of Car Driver, Toomey, Tuna and Black Team. I think Tuna and Toomey actually quite close. And we're going to have a look at these guys as the superior Catalan racing car is lining up the Canori driver. And I wonder if he'll look for a move to the inside of 130R. No, he doesn't. He backs out, gives the brakes a little dab, and continues down towards the chicane. But just letting Toomey know that he is there and potentially looking to line up an overtake as he actually goes deep there. And will now have to regain that time on Toomey, who, yeah, I think he seems pretty on par with his teammate, I'd say. The Canori is rumoured to not be the easiest to drive, and that goes for Tudor from Hell as well, who we saw struggle a lot at Watkins Glen last time out and pick up a penalty for whacking Train Raider off the road. Yeah, I mean, how would you say these two are doing compared to their teammates so far?
Well, we can see that every driver here is fighting, and every driver is almost on par with each other. It's just all about the cars. And when the car is the same, I would say the competition is pretty equal.
Yeah, but Jamie is actually looking to the inside of Cat there and goes quite deep on the brakes. I noticed he was about 2 tenths behind the Catalan racing driver. He closed up the gap, and Jamie is really starting to put pressure on for the lead of the race here. He's probably feeling slightly more confident on his tyres, which are probably in a slightly better state compared to the Catalan racing car. And Matteo will be trying to do his best to keep it on the road and keep trying to go as quick as he can and give that dirty air to Jammy, who will be squirming around behind the rear wing of the Catalan racing car and potentially cause some issues with his teammate behind. But those shadow racing cars just look to have quite a lot of straight line speed here at Suzuka.
Yeah, exactly. Even with the huge slipstream, they just gain a lot of time on Caddy. We'll see, maybe Caddy will actually defend from 2 shadow racing that are behind and hungry for the P1.
Yeah, I mean, the gap is only 0.2 as they head into turn 1, but it looks like Catalan has just about managed to hold on to that on the exit of the chicane.
Oh, we can see Kimi has a little mistake, a lock-up. Will he manage to hold the slipstream to Jammy? No.
Oh, Jammy really getting all over Casso, through the S section once again. He was almost nudging him through there. And look, he's trying to set up a switchback now. I wonder if he is going to go for an attempt on the race lead there. They're going to go through up through Dunlop curve now. And this is where Dercier will now start to play once again into Catalan's favours. And Jammy once again flashing his lights, just doing a little bit of trolling the mind games on Catalan, maybe even working. And he hasn't quite had as good of an exit as they make their way now down to the hairpin. So it won't be an overtake this time around for Jammy, but he'll just look to line up the exit. And yeah, Toomey Avaturi and Tuna are fighting in the background. And looks like Tuna has managed to get past Toomey. And he's done that through the S section, I believe. And potentially going for a switchback on the Kanoi racing car and getting past. But this is still all just within the first 10 minutes of the race, and there's still plenty more time to go in this one.
As you're saying, Jammy has lost a position. He's fighting with Kimi, had a lock-up and a huge slip. Kare looks like he's gonna run away from 2 shadow racings. It's getting really heated.
These two need to sort it out with themselves, or otherwise they're going to lose unnecessary time. It looks like they do that. Kimi Dekunda drops back behind his teammate, who he was lining up and was side by side with for an overtake. But these two just need to keep it together and work together in order to stay with the race leader here. He can't give Catalan any opportunities to try and pull away or anything like that.
Exactly. We can see that Jammy is actually kind of in the slipstream, but maybe he will have an opportunity to actually overtake Caddy once he gets things sorted with Kimi. Or maybe right now, actually, as Caddy has a little mistake in those curves. Jammy nailing those.
Yeah, I mean, Caddy's doing a pretty good job. I mean, Jammy, excuse me, is doing a pretty good job to actually stay with the Catalan racing car through the S section despite all of the dirty air. And look at that, Jammy pushing hard, a big cut on the inside curb to try and stay with the Red Bull inspired car and the inspired livery on the Catalan racing car. And now down to the hairpin once again. How good can Jamy's exit be? It's actually quite poor. He gets a really bad run into the hairpin. That's allowed Kimi Dekunda to get back alongside him, but Kimi has to back out once again. And I wonder if these two maybe need to switch, because Jammy is making too many mistakes at this stage.
Yes, the fight is getting really heated.
Look at that, he's almost bouncing off of the track once again. I think he's maybe overdriving that car. You can see the way the tuning is set up, that he's just bouncing off the road. That is giving him a lack of grip as Toomey has had a moment, I think, out there with Tuna from Hell. And you can see they've come together, and Tuna from Hell and Toomey have been overtaken by Black Demon. I wonder if Toomey went for some sort of dive bomb or made some sort of mistake out there, but they've dropped down to P7 and P8, and that has allowed Black Demon through up to P6. We saw yellow flags being briefly waved back there, and a little tangle between these two potentially. As Train Raider and Car Driver are also getting pretty close out in front. Car Driver is starting to line up Train, and we did wonder how long would Train be able to hold on to this one. And if there's no desync, then the tyre wear for the Canori is looking quite bad. And now Car Driver is going to get a run coming into turn 1. Can he get enough slipstream? Can he hold on to the back of that Scuderia trailer car? He actually can't. The Scuderia trailer pulls away in a straight line, and Car Driver is going to have to get it done in the corners. Lots of things happening out on track. And Demon is actually now under investigation for overtaking under a yellow flag, even though the two cars in front of him probably spun. And so I'm sure that will come to nothing from the stewards and from race control. And meanwhile, car driver still trying to line up Shane, who's clearly struggling through the S section.
Also, if we look at the back of the grid, Tuomi had a small slip-up. Now GTR is on his tail. Only 3 seconds are dividing them. Maybe in the future we'll have a really good fight between those two.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, they're both pretty experienced drivers, of course, to be class of the field, or definitely amongst them in this set of drivers. But you can see Trainmaker has made a huge mistake, and car driver almost gets to stick his nose up the inside. Tuna from Hell has caused a yellow flag and has been overtaken by Toomey now in the background. He's actually been overtaken by JTR too, so something has happened to Tuna in the background. But Trainmaker is just about hanging on, and is hanging on for dear life here in front of car driver. I don't know if you saw what happened to Tuna from Hell in the background, Harvey.
Yeah, I did. Tuner from Hell had a massive run there, generational here. As I am actually looking at GTR, he seems to be catching Tuomi by a slight.
Oh, and Trainmaker has run completely off the track, and he's going to have to cut the corner a little bit, and that will allow car driver potentially to get a better run from him. We have to make sure he didn't leave the track and gain too much of an advantage. The gap at 50 feet, but now Trainmaker just seems to pull away a little bit once they get to the straight again, and Kanori running that slight extra downforce, it's believed, as we headed into this race. And Trainmaker has just about managed to hold on once again, but car driver must be getting incredibly frustrated. And he goes wide once again, and that's going to allow car driver actually to go for the switchback in the S section, but he has to back out. He's got that slightly higher ping. He has to take more care when racing the cars around him. And you can see he is just getting really held up. You can see he clearly got a superior pace at this stage. He just doesn't quite have the straight line speed to overtake.
Yes. As you're saying this, McKenna has actually a lot of mistakes. Seas have been in the barrier.
Yeah, Tuna's had a huge one. Tuna's bonnet is completely crumpled here. You can see he's got front left suspension damage too. Something's happened to Tuna. And once again, Catalan Racing, it's just like Red Bull in real life. They seem to have one driver that can handle the car and one that can't, making too many mistakes out there. We saw it at Watkins, and now we've seen it on lap 8, 15 minutes into this race. Tuna from Hell is in the pits and is almost out of the top 10.
Yes, we can see that drivers are not able to fight the nerves for the 2 hours, as we have the first back marker Seas with Caddy XR. Can he hold up Caddy to help Jamie? That's the question. It's always interesting to overtake an lapped car. We'll see how this goes. As they are on the main straight, Jamie is flashing his lights to Cammy. Jamie's actually gaining a lot of time. He had a 1.5 second gap between him and the first place.
Yeah, but now Kimi Dukunda going very wide in the background too. But yeah, you're right. Jamie has caught up quite a bit, and we ride on board with Catalan and the rear end facing camera, showing just how close Jamie is. And look at this, he's able to just stick with Kate's car in the dirty air, and that just shows you how much more grip and how much better the tyre wear must be for Jamie. He must be getting so frustrated that he can't pull this move off, and if he was daring, he could go for it into deck the 1 here, and he's got his nose up the inside. This would be a very bold move from Jamie. He goes up the inside of the race leader to make a bit of contact, now heading into deck the 2, but Jamie has managed to pull the move off, and that's an excellent move from the Shadow Racing driver. And now it's going to allow Kimi Dukunda to try and line up the Catalan Racing cars, where he goes quite wide, not quite able to put it off, but there's a little bit of contact, and I think a little bit of lag and some desync there, kind of hard to tell, but Kimi Dukunda not quite able to get through just yet. And Jamie continues his light flashing, but here goes potentially Kimi Dukunda. It looked like he might have had a run just for a second there, but he's going to have to wait. But now we will see how quickly can Jamie pull away from the Catalan Racing car, if he can, and if that tyre weight is much better. He's getting dirty air from Seas in front.
It seems like Jamie is a little bit skeptical about Seas. Maybe he will hold him back. But Seas, has a little bit of a situation here. Jamie flashing his lights, really nervous about Caddy XR. Jamie gets the move done, and now Seas is actually gonna held up Caddy XR. This is not good.
Yeah, this is not. You're not required to get out of the way, as Toomey's actually set off a yellow flag. And Kase decides to come into the pits and change off of his tyres now. So something happening with Toomey in the background and potentially having an incident. But Kase gets out of that melee and decides to change his tyres here on lap 10. So it's 10 laps for the Catalan Racing. And now the Shadow Racing cars will look to extend and get that tyre offset to Kase XR here. He should still leave the pits in front of the likes of Car Driver and Train. And there he goes. He emerges into clean air. But our first big pit stop of the race, you could say, for one of our big three.
Goose going wide into the wall. I think he has damage to his front right tire.
Yeah, you're right. Well, we said there might be incidents at the Degner curves. And he's gone off at, what was that, Degner 1, Degner 2, as Toomey has caused another yellow. Oh, Toomey had a big one there. He was in the wall and he's had to use one of his toes. I wonder if that's his one and only free toe used up. You can see lots of drivers coming in and out of the pits. Keep an eye on the leaderboard as it changes here. And Toomey is going to lose that lap, and that is really affecting his race. His first race for Canori Racing. He was hoping for a better car, and he's managed to put it into the barrier.
Yeah. As we see, actually, Jamie has another back marker and Kimi Dekunder on his back. So it's getting pretty heated as two Shadow Racing are going through the field. And
confirmation that Toomey has used his one and only free reset here, and so any more crashes and any more mistakes for him, and that is game over for the former world champion in Formula 3. And often a pretty decent driver as well when it comes to sports cars, but clearly struggling. It's both Shadow Racing cars coming to the pits this lap, and they will be covering off Matteo Catalan. It's very important how well their pit stops go here. We'll keep an eye on Matteo Catalan, who is now making his way through 130R now. You can see he's already used about 5% of his tyres on this undercut attempt and trying to overtake those two. If Catty can pull this off, then this is a mastermind strategy. He's now just coming down the main straight. What are the Shadow Racing cars doing? You can see they're emerging from the pits now. Let's keep an eye on Kimi Dekunder as he exits the pit lane now behind his teammate. Catalan Racing has pulled off the undercut, and Kate XR retakes the lead here at the 2 hours of Suzuka on lap 11. Jamie and Kimi Dekunder potentially making a bit of a mistake there, but they do now have one lap slightly newer tyres than the leader, and that's pretty big for Kate. That gives him a bit of time and a bit of comfort and a bit of breathing space here. I'll just get you to I'll just get you to take over for a couple of minutes.
Oh yeah, sure. As we see, Kate is actually 2 seconds away from Jamie. This is a massive strategy. While our beloved Alfie was talking, Train has overtook I believe, tuner from hell. Train is looking pretty strong. I think he can manage to catch up to Car Driver 2. But for now, we just need to see how both of them will perform in this race. As actually TGR has gained a lot of positions. He is back in the game, 6th place. He has overtook Tuomi. Tuomi is DNF. We're gonna ask him why, what went wrong. This is a really interesting fight, and 1 hour and 20 minutes left. This is insane. Jamie cannot find any pace. 2.5 seconds. He has lost half a second. Tuomi is not DNF. I'm sorry for this mistake. Tuomi is gonna be a person that is behind everyone. Jamie has overtook him, and it seems like the hope for Jamie is lost, or is it?
So I wonder if Tubi just system just misregistering him, because he obviously used his free toe, and yeah, well, his race has gone from bad to worse because he's now 3 laps down from the leader. And you can see, though, he has got the second fastest lap of the race so far. So the pace is there for Toomey, but he just needs to try to string it together. And, well, he's got 2 hours to try and make up 2 laps on all of the cars around him.
Yes, as I was just saying, GTR is gaining positions, gaining and gaining. He's P6 with a massive gap to train. Will he be able to be in the top 5? That is the real question.
Potentially. I mean, there's quite a few decent cars that's still out here that I reckon are probably quicker than the top dog Lexus car. I mean, you've got obviously the top 3 that we're looking at now. I think Car Driver should definitely be up there too, and I think Train might be able to hold on. I think that Scuderia Treno is probably better than the top dog car. But time will tell, am I right? I mean, we've still got a very long way to go.
Yes, exactly. The real question is, will Caddy pull off another undercut strategy? And will he be trying to do that? And will Shadow Racing be able to do something against that?
It'll be interesting to see how that plays out, because obviously we heard coming into the races that Catalan Racing have that increased tyre wear compared to Canori and the likes of who else, excuse me, Canori and Shadow Racing, of course. And so it's all good and all, Kate getting this lead, getting this undercut, but his tyres are now going to last even less than the Shadow Racing cars, and all it does is allow them to build a tyre offset to each other and open more doors and windows in this race. As just a confirmation of how the order is running now. So we've almost got half an hour under our belts, almost at lap 15 here, and it's still Catalan who leads, followed by the 2 Shadow Racings of Jamie and Kimi Dekunda. They've both been putting on a bit of a show for us out here, and then Car Driver in the Canori. In P4, then Train Raider, JTR, Black Demon, Seas, Goose, Tuna and Toomey with the bottom 2, both having their own incidents at different points in this race. We cut to Tuna missing or having a crumpled bonnet, and we cut to Toomey having to use one of his 3 resets after getting stuck in an Armco barrier. So, yeah, I mean, I'll come back briefly to our point we were talking about earlier with both Tuna and Toomey. Clearly, the Catalan racing cars and the Canori cars have been set up in quite an extreme way, and with both of their leading drivers being able to handle it and then the second drivers struggling. Do you think that's something that practice can help with, or do you reckon that's just a fundamental issue that both drivers need to work on?
Honestly, automation can be quite quirky sometimes, so I cannot say for sure. But it seems like Canori has a really strong car in terms of tire wear and speed. Just time will tell. Maybe that is the problem with practice and the drivers. As just one notice, I feel like the G-Force is really struggling, especially in Suzuka, I guess. This amazing car just feels oversteery. I see Black Demon just oversteers in every single corner, which could be a mistake, mistake of the Sloppenheimer in automation.
Well, I'll tell you one person who's not struggling against Jamie, who has completely closed up to Catalan, and now he's going to go for the lead of the race here. Once again, the undercut for Catalan, only working for a couple of laps, and now Jamie will try it around the outside of Catalan Racing, but he actually goes off the track. He makes a mistake, and he's going through the gravel, and is that in the wall for the Shadow Racing driver? He's gone big, he's gone bold here on lap 14. He's tried to go for the race win. He's just about managed to keep it out of the wall, but he has lost lots and lots of time, and you can see over 10 seconds now is the gap in front of him, and he has undone all of his hard work and is going to have to re-go again here.
Yes, a lot of drama, but can Kimi catch up to Kari? Can he avenge his teammate?
Yeah, it wasn't a bad effort at all from Jamie. I mean, he's done it once at the first Degner. He was up the inside last time, and he tried it round the outside and just slightly misjudged it and gave it back to Cade XR and his teammate, Kimi Dekunda. But now he will be trying his best to re-catch up to these two, and I hope that maybe they even fight and slow each other down and open the door back up to him for this race.
Yes, I don't think Jamie has anything to worry about except his first place, because of the huge gap that those 3 cars have produced. 21 seconds. for the car driver, P4 car. And what is interesting though is that Kanori is not near P3. The car driver is P4, which is I think they're a little bit underperforming.
Yeah, I think I have to agree that. I mean, that we saw the gaps that they had in straight line of speed to Catalan and Shadow, and do you think that would be making all the difference, or do you think there's maybe a little bit more underlying there?
I think that's that the speed is not the main case. They have an Evo package which does in fact enhances the speed, but in my opinion it will not enhance driver performance or the cornering speed.
So how much do you know about the Evo package? What was their aim with the upgrades?
Well, clearly they just wanted to show off the new body, which honestly in my opinion still looks pretty bad in comparison to other cars that we had.
Fair enough.
But yeah, they've worked actually really well on the interior. Maybe we can have a few shots of the interior. Just
quickly before Kimi Dekunda lines up Cassie for the race victory, we see Tudor from Hell has gone off the track in the S section, but he's managed to avoid any damage and has kept the car clean from the barriers, and will now continue on his way once again. But yeah, back to Kimi Dekunda lining up Cassie out in the lead, and now just losing a bit of time though, coming through 130R. But yeah, it is very interesting to see where each car is individually strong and where each car is individually weak. I mean, like I was saying, Kanori is slightly weaker in the straights for some reason. Shadow Racing especially good in a straight line, but then I think even Kate is even quicker. I mean, you can see he's pulled almost 10-20 feet just in a straight line there down the main straight, and that Shadow Racing seems to be incredibly good in the corners. I think that lines up with our pre-race notes though.
Yeah, I feel like the only problem that they need to fix is their brakes. I feel like they have a lot of lockups. Maybe that's just Kimi, maybe that's the car. We have no information on that, but
he's got a pretty good run out of it, and he might even try to go round the outside like his teammate did just a couple laps ago. He's going to give Kate a bit of a bigger squeeze this time around, and looks like Kimi has actually managed to get this move done. He does what his teammate couldn't, and on lap 16, Shadow Racing retakes the lead of the 2 hours of Suzuka here, and he manages to get past the Catalan Racing car with ease around the outside of Degna 1. Brilliant move from Kimi Dekunda.
But the question arises, will Caddy actually overtake him? He has clearly a more faster car and a more experienced driver. Will we see another fight? But this move did in fact prove how huge...
Toomey has got off the track once again, and that's the second Kanori Racing driver in the wall. He's clearly been struggling in the first half an hour there. We do have,
a safety
race
car
intervention here. Yeah, so the leader will act as the safety car, and everyone will slow down and drive around at reduced speed, and will catch up to the back of Kimi Dekunda. But you can see Toomey is done and dusted. Also clutch firing away, but no pedal inputs, and that is stuck in the wall, and that won't be getting out.
Romy has sadly been DNF'd, and he's still actually trying to kind of go from that wall. You can see the tire just spinning around, but it will actually create some strategy opportunities for Jammy, since he
and they're taking the free stop.
Up.
Yep, exactly. This does help Jammy, but Jammy is staying out and he's sticking to his original strategy here. An interesting one there as Kimi gets done for speeding in the pits. That'll be a 10-second penalty added to the Shadow Racing driver, and that is unfortunate. It was probably only by a couple miles an hour or so. So Kimi and Kate both coming into the pits. Jammy choosing to stay out. This will be interesting. I'm not sure how that strategy will play out. Any predictions from yourself?
Honestly, I would have loved to make a prediction. I would have loved to make a prediction, but there's a huge dissing and I cannot see the tire wear on Jammy's tires.
Fair enough.
Sadly.
But I mean, they've been on these tires for about 5-6 laps. Let's say, tire wear is about 3%. That's still, that's still about 20% of their tires gone compared to fresh tires for these guys. I think boxing was probably the better decision here. I think it is a free stop. It's near the pit window, which would have been about lap 21 or 22 for the Shadow Racing cars. It helps Matteo Catalan, who would have been struggling on his tyres. And yeah, Kimi obviously had that slow stop as well. If you're wondering how Kate got past him, he had to serve that penalty, I would imagine, in the pits. But he's only lost one position from it. So virtual safety car here at 2 hours of Suzuka as one Kanori DNS, and he's our first DNF of the race. He already used his free toe, and he will now be not finishing. And I wonder if we can actually get him here into the VC to discuss. I don't see him. Oh no, I do see him in a call. I'm just gonna yoink him into the commentary box.
As all of the eyes are actually on GTR P7, maybe he will gain some positions.
Yep.
For the next stint.
We can speak to the Kanori Motorsport driver now, who is unfortunately out of the race. Talk us through what happened. It just looked like another mistake at Degdom 1 and then sliding into the barriers for yourself.
Yeah, that incident was just a mistake. I was pushing full, only because of one reason. There's an export issue on our car. We're losing insane amounts of straight line speed to everyone, and we're just completely uncompetitive on the track. We can't keep up with anyone, and everyone just gains approximately 100 meters on us in every single straight, even the small ones, so there was really no point. So I was pushing full, and that forced me into a mistake.
Pretty unfortunate. I mean, you'd already had to use your free toes, so I mean, you could have maybe gained something back in the race, but like you said, car issues. No, you believe you couldn't. That's all.
No, the car was it had no straight line speed, absolutely none. There was nothing you could really extract from that.
Do you think
car driver also has the same one, but he still has some straight line speed, so he can be slightly competitive. But I have way less. For some reason, my car just did not export correctly.
Interesting. Something to look at after this race, then, for sure, in automation. And look at this, Jamie and car driver have actually decided to take a free stop. So this is going to hurt them. They should have boxed when the safety car first came out, and now they're going to drop all the way to the back of the field and be behind a lot of extra cars here, and they now give themselves a ton of extra work to do. Thoughts on this, you two?
Yeah, there was, first of all, with car driver, there was some. He first didn't want to box. He was committed to staying out, but his tires are starting to get cold, so he decided to box out. I discussed this right before you pulled me in here.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Are you going to stay in here as well, or what are you thinking?
No, I'm going to go to something else.
Nice. Fair enough. But yeah. All right. Well, unfortunate for yourself then, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening then. So still just under an hour and a half to go. Of course, under that virtual safety car. If you've enjoyed the race so far, then make sure you follow or subscribe on whatever platform you're watching. It's always free, and if you get bored, you can change your minds later at any point. And of course, your support means all the world to us. If you want to find out more about what we're doing here with GT World Challenge and racing inside of BeamNG, then make sure you join the Discord server and look us up online and go to our website and find all of the links that you need to. But 18 laps underway here then so far, and still a long way to go. Still plenty that could change in this. Do we have any extra notes, I wonder, that we can read out? Anything else that might affect this race that we should look out for?
Yeah, there was a note about McKenna. It has done a lot of tuning, but it seems like it does not help. 2.5 seconds between a gap to P7 GTR under safety car. This is a crazy car. It is literally a brick.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite easy to see. I mean, during practice, for example, I think the drivers were complaining that their tyre width was like nowhere near the same size as everybody else. But we have got the safety car period being ended. And so Kate will lead these drivers away for a restart here. So because Jamie and car driver came into the pits, they're now P5 and P6. They've got a bit of work to do here and a few cars to get past, but it will be on Kate. He will decide when to restart us here. Our first safety car restart of the day, potentially not our last. The green flag is called. And Kate has not put his foot down yet, just maintaining speed. You can see they're all bunching up, extremely eager to go. It will be Kate from Kimi, from Train Raider, And then Black Demon followed by Car Driver, Jammy and JTR that are here bunched under the virtual safety car. And we just wait to get going. Casse is leaving it late. You can see what he's doing on his telemetry. Making his way through the chicane now, really bunching them up. He's sped up and slowed down again. You've got to be careful with how you manage that, but he puts his foot down and he puts his foot to the floor to take us away again and start lap 19 and resume racing at the 2 hours of Suzuka here. Kimi Dekunda didn't quite get the jump he would have wanted and isn't quite able to capitalise on the restarts, but everybody else manages to pretty much maintain their order here coming through down into turn 1 and turn 2.
Yeah, I saw that GTR was really eager to take that position from Jammy, but sadly he had a really bad restart. The timing was really unfortunate for him. He is around 3 seconds. He has a 3-second gap to Jammy, which is going to be problematic. Sadly, I don't think he will be able to be top 1.
Yep, and Kimi making up for potentially not the best restart with a lot of performance in the corners here and keeping Casse on his toes, not letting the leader relax in any sort of way here, and potentially having a little sniff at the inside, and will look to try and get the better exit. You see Goose is coming to the pits and has actually managed to speed going into the pits, so that'll be an extra 10 seconds that he has to hold for. But does Kimi have a potential run here? Looking into Spoon, he's only a 10th behind the leader here. All right, on the back of Casse, getting the slipstream from the Red Bull livery inspired car, and now will make his way up the back straight, trying his best to stay with the driver in front despite all of the dirty air. And you can see he's managed to do a pretty good job of that, but Casse pulls away in a straight once again, and it's going to be really about whether Kimi can get the advantages in the corners. And I think his best place really is Degnan 1 if you think about it, because he's got a lot of twisty tight corners that he could set up a switchback and have the advantage and then try and go for an exit.
Exactly. With a really good car as China Racing, they have a lot to gain and potentially win this. Maybe P1, P2. As Jammy actually looking for a move for Car Driver 2 on the main straight. Will he be able to do that? It is a
2x2 going
test.
down the straight. It's Train Raider on the inside, Black Demon on the outside. Jammy looking to the inside of Car Driver. He's going to try and get this move done. Train Raider and Black Demon are also fighting and tangling in front, with Black Demon trying to get a switchback on the Scuderia Treno. And these four have got incredibly detached from the leaders already, and this will be extremely frustrating for Jammy, who is already almost 10 seconds behind the leaders again, just like he was after he made his mistake. He's losing the advantage of having the safety car come out, and he has to try and go for a switchback here on Black Demon, but Black Demon is just about covering the inside. He does manage to go on the inside, but there's a little bit of contact, a little bit of desync, and Black Demon ends up making more contact with Car Driver potentially in the background, and he now drops down to P6. A little bit of rubbing and racing, but Kimi Dekunda is going for the race lead. He's wheel to wheel with Casse as they head into the hairpin. Can Kimi try and force it round the outside? Black Demon has gone off. He's causing a yellow flag in the background, but Kimi trying to go for the race lead, isn't quite able to do it just yet, and Casse once again still covering any doors and shutting the nose off of the Shadow Racing driver.
As Jammy lets an offer to Train Raider to give him position, Jammy is going to follow Kimi Dekunda.
And Kimi is trying everything to get past Casse here as well. He just had his nose up the inside once again. That's going to make Casse go defensive potentially into 130R. You can see Kimi is getting prime slipstream off of the back of the Catalan Racing machine, and now through 130R it's a double little hesitant lift from the Shadow Racing car, and now we have to try and gain that back quickly through the chicane, but the battle for the lead is staying fierce and spicy here, and Jammy is managing to close back in already. But yeah, Black Demon was suffering in the background for a bit there. Car Driver is racing Train Raider once again. Just a brief look at this. Car Driver overtaking the Treno, and I managed to get past Train. Might try and re-overtake though, and just an eye on whether Kimi Dekunda is doing anything. He's not quite able to do anything in that sense yet. Train Raider has forced Car Driver to the inside, and he runs off the track, and that's a good bit of racing from Train there. He manages to retake fourth position. Very nicely done from the Treno driver, and Car Driver will have to look to try and re-overtake at a different point yet again. What can Kimi do? Coming up through Dunlop curve now, sorry, and not quite having the run this time. And yeah, that is that on lap 21 here. Just over an hour to go.
Shadows really need to work as a team now, since Kimi is really close to Caddy. Maybe he can hold him back good enough for Jamie to catch up. As we see, Kimi, maybe he will send it on the main straight. 0.3 seconds is not that much. As they go into the speedy corners, almost last corners.
He just doesn't quite have the straight line speed advantage, does he, that Catalan has on the straights. It's perfectly balancing out. Shadow Racing is quicker in the corners, but then when it comes to the straight line speed, that's where Catalan has sacrificed on performance to improve gains in that area. And you can see gapping Kimi, even though he is in the slipstream behind the Catalan Racing car. This will be frustrating. Knowing Kimi personally, this will be frustrating him for sure, and he'll potentially bottle up some anger and try and get the move done in a riskier way. But look how slow Catalan is through those corners, and look how much quicker Kimi is, and now he's going to get another run down the main straight. But you can see the gap just slowly and slowly and slowly pulling away once again, and Dunlop and Degner 1 is really the best place where you can try and go for a move.
Yeah, you can really see how fast Caddy is actually. With the slipstream, Kimi cannot catch up to Caddy in any way. As we see actually Jamie closing the gap, maybe Kimi does do some teamwork here, trying to hold up Caddy, make him do a mistake. Is it a mastermind strategy or is it just coincidence? We will see.
Yeah, I mean, Kimi trying everything here, really squirming around on the coast, but he's had a good exit now, and this could be the run that he needs. He's got his nose up the inside of Kate. Kate has to go to the inside line once again. They're going to go into Degner 1. Kimi's going to look for the switchback. He has a huge snap on the exit, potentially some contact, says Vayavi, but he isn't quite able to pull the move off once again, and that is slowing Kate down for Jamie, and that is allowing Jamie to re-get into the fight for this lead. Kate, once again, defensive on the inside there, but Kimi doesn't quite have the exit to make anything of it, and pushing hard for a race where you consider the fact there is still 1 hour and 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, you can really see. We should probably bring Shadows into the interview room next, because it will be really interesting to hear this strategy. And
Car Driver's just had a really nice run actually around the outside of Trey before they even get to Spoon. A brilliant move from the one remaining Kanori Motorsport car, and he'll have to hope that Trey Redder doesn't have the straight line speed advantage to re-overtake him down these next 2 straights. And meanwhile, speaking of straight line speed advantage, the battle for the lead rages on as Kimi actually has a look round the outside. Oh, and there's some sort of desync. There's some sort of contact for Kimi. The front end flies up into the air in a very strange and bizarre way, but he's all over the back of Kate now. It hasn't stopped him from trying to pursue this. Kate on the inside, Kimi on the outside. How will this one play out? Coming down into the high-speed braking zone of turn 1. They almost make more contact. Will Kimi look to the inside? They're moving back and forward relative to each other all the time, but Kimi has to stay in P2 once again. And some weird contact at the chicane, clearly on Kimi's end.
Yeah, Caddy is just parking on the apex, slowing down Kimi, but nevertheless, Jamie has finally caught up to Kimi. Only 1 second to Kimi. This is going to be really interesting. Will Jamie give an order to Kimi to slow down?
Oh, and he's going for it again, actually. He's going to go into Degner 1. Can he go round the outside? Kade just manages to block it off, but now he's going to look to the inside, and there is definitely some contact there. There's contact between the two, and there's more contact on the exit, and now Kimi and Kate are racing each other really hard. Now coming down into the hairpin, there's more contact. Once again, Kate's on the grass, and Kate's into the sand. Kate from the lead of the race. He's off the track. Is he stuck? Can he get it going again? He makes it back onto the track, but he was pushed wide and put 2 tyres on the grass, and that was enough for him to slide off the track and lose the race lead. He'll be furious with that. It has cost him over 7 seconds of time, and he now has a huge gap to the leaders and is now going to have to rework to try and gain all that time back. Big drama on lap 23 with just over an hour to go.
Yeah, this is really frustrating, but we know that for sure that Kimi will get a race from Shadow Racing for this type of move. As Jamie closing the gap, will they be fighting for P1? or will they just cruise
I mean,
away from Caddy?
Surely these two just have to work together now. They are literally untroubled by anybody around them and just need to be going as quick as they can. But what did you think of that? Kate and Kimi, I told you Kimi would bottle up some angle and start racing him really hard. There was 2 bits of contact, and then as they made their way through what is normally a flat right-hander on the racing line, Kate obviously tried to keep it pinned and put 2 tyres on the dirt. Just a racing incident in your eyes, or potentially something more than that?
This was tricky, actually. It is really controversial.
I think the spin was. I don't think the spin was on Kimi. That's for sure.
The spin wasn't, of course. But as they went into the second turn there, Kimi did in fact touch Caddy, which, well, Caddy just went off to the grass, which kind of, I think. It was one of the reasons why he spun out, so this could be actually on Kimi, as we are waiting for the BSA decision.
Yeah, race control have noted it. Doesn't mean they will look at it, but they have noted it down as some potential contact between the two. Of course, desync, prevalent in BeamNG racing. Always something you have to remember, and you've always got to leave just a little bit of extra space for your competitor when you're attacking or defending, as Kate even goes for a little bit of lawn mowing there, and that will not help in his attempts to catch up. He's actually lost almost a second and a half just from doing that. And yeah, it gets a little bit bad. It goes from bad to worse for Catalan Racing. And C's having an issue out there on track. He's caused a yellow flag and has actually missed a chicane. And so he will just continue on. Almost a lap behind again already. But yeah, a bit of a difficult one. It was hard to see from the angles that we were watching whether Kate left Kimi enough space. Of course, we saw 2 bits of contact between the two. I think some of it was just desync, and there the BSA confirms it will be investigated post-race when both drivers are free to talk and can provide their evidence. Kimi comes into the pits. He doesn't speed this time, and he makes way for his teammate Jamie, who will now push in clean air. And we saw the undercut was pretty powerful, so can Kimi Dekunda make some gains on his teammate here? Be interesting to see. Kate doesn't come in.
Yes, we can see Goose's car just parked there, DNF'd from no reason, honestly. But we can see that McKenna is struggling. Sees is nowhere near close the competition as he usually is. But
Tuner's had another moment out there too.
GTR is gaining P5.
Oh, Tuner's got damage. Tuner's got damage. He's crabbing with his rear left tyre. I think on the exit of Degna 2, he's gone wide, hit the gravel, and then hit the Tech Pro barrier that sticks out. And oh no, disaster for Tuner there. He's actually hit a sticky barrier. And that is going to cost him dearly because he might now have to use a free toe in this race. And there he goes. He uses his free toe almost immediately. Oh, no. And now
safety car.
The safety car has been deployed for, well, no reason in retrospect. And Jamie and Kimi will not be happy about that. That has ruined Kimi's strategy here. The safety car coming out just as he made a pit stop. There was really no need for that safety car, and he will be extra furious at that fact.
Jamie is absolutely frustrated as Caddy started catched up. Will Caddy box? That's the real question. Did he box? I didn't catch that.
Kate did not pit. So Jamie and Kate yet to box twice, I think. I think that's the same for car and train. Pretty much all of the cars in front of Kimi are yet to box again here. And that's why this has made such a big difference. They don't have a delta to stick to, however, though. It's just about the speed they're limited to. So as you can see, Kimi will definitely not lose to train because he's caught up to train. And then, look, they're already bunched up before he's even got to the timing line. So actually, this is fine for Kimi. He hasn't lost out that big.
Yes, as we are looking at TGR. After this safety car, he is P6, and he might actually get a solid position. We can see this car, the Lexus, is actually pretty competitive. The center of attention is on him, but also on Jamie and Caddy. Will they box? Will they stay out? And will there be a controversy? That is the question.
So let's see who is coming in. Jamie, Kate, car driver, trainer, Kimi. Kimi chooses to box again. That is a waste of positions. I think he could have easily stayed out in the lead there. And because he only boxed 1 lap ago, his tyre would have been 5% worse at maximum. But he's decided to come in again anyways. And once again, Shadow Racing with slightly questionable strategies. It's now going to depend. Kimi now will have to race more cars and try and get through more people.
I think Caddy gets a little bit held up for a car driver. He parked a little bit too close to him. But yeah, Jamie stays in the lead as GTR is P3.
Wow. Pit stops jumping really the order up and where people have come out after their stops. So I think this is all correct now. The order, Jamie, then Kate. The JTR, who has come out of nowhere and will be a roadblock to Kimi. Kimi will not be happy about that. And then Kimi, Train, and car driver. Yeah, some interesting stuff going on here. I mean, what did you think of that safety car call as well? I don't think that was necessary at all. Looked too preemptive from race control.
I have no idea why this was called, but it certainly is a questionable safety car. I did not saw anyone crash or there was any debris.
Well, yeah, exactly. I have to say probably a what do you call it? A mistake from race control there for sure. But it has worked. It's not hurt Kimi too bad. We thought it was going to be a bit of a problem for Kimi Tsunoda, who had just come into the pits, but he's now only got, let's say, you know, one unnecessary car in front of him. He's still very close, and whoa, JTR spins under the safety car, and all of that luck and hard work for JTR, getting a quicker pit stop under the safety car and overtaking several cars. He now redrops all the way to the back of the field. Rookie mistake for JTR, and I have to say I feel for him on that one. Been there, done that, and it's never a nice feeling. Very embarrassing.
I feel the pain in his dick, but
it was unfortunate
that I took a sip of my water and TGR spun. I'm not gonna drink this water anymore. But
you've cursed it with the water, mate.
Yeah, I think that was cursed. GTR P7, sad, really sad for him. Do you reckon Steez can catch up to them? I don't think so, because
I think even if Mechanic Car does catch up, it will fall off quicker than it caught up. So, I mean, they are literally almost 7 seconds a lap slower than everybody else.
As we said in the qualifying, they were 6 or 7 seconds behind the leaders.
Yeah, exactly. So, Kate will be looking to pounce on Jamie now that they're slightly more equal on tyre wear, and Jamie desperately trying to keep some tyre temperature. It's like they're going around for another lap, otherwise the safety car would have been called in already, and so that's going to disadvantage people like car driver, who are going to have even colder tyres. He already came into the pits just to change his brakes and warm his tyres up earlier in this race, and we are almost at the half mark distance now. 6 minutes to go, and then we'd have another hour after that. And yeah, well,
certainly, as well, the safety car is still going. What are your feelings on this season's automation cars? Are they on top, or are there some cars that you are not happy about, as I am with Red Bull?
I think they're all. I think they're pretty great, to be fair. I think Shadow Racing debuted with a fantastic new-looking car, moving back to the yellow and green that team owner Jamie loves so dearly. I think it's great to see some bigger names, you know, stepping in and racing, and quicker people. A lot of interest is shown in this series, which is just fantastic. I mean, why wouldn't you be excited about it? You know, the storylines you get from building your own cars and bringing your own upgrades is something that you can't get in a spec series. And oh yeah, Tudor from Help just unlapping himself. I thought there was some shenanigans going on there from the Catalan racing car, but just unlapping himself and re-overtaking the field. Yeah, I mean, the Catalan racing car, let's be honest, it's not the prettiest thing. It looks a bit like a Rocket League Hot Wheels fusion bomb.
Yeah, exactly.
But
sadly,
it works,
why
and that's the thing.
wasn't being able to race this season.
The car works,
yeah, maybe next season.
And maybe apart from the tyre wear this race, but we've seen just how dominant it was at the last race in Watkins Glen. And I think a lot of that comes down to the width, just how far out the tyres are sticking on that machine. And there's definitely some good research and development under the hood from Catalan Racing. But Jamie still desperately putting temperature into his tyres. The safety car will probably be called in this lap. Yeah, virtual safety car, of course, if you're wondering where the physical one that normally accompanies a safety car is.
And Seas does actually catch up to the whole pack. Will he be able to do something? That is the real question.
And
7
Kade
seconds.
getting all too close to the back of Jammy there and almost making contact as both drivers are trying. Everyone's trying desperately to keep heat into their tyres. And for Train, it's going to be about holding off Car Driver and Black Demon as there is confirmation from race control. Oh, and the restart cancelled actually immediately afterwards. So I'm not sure what we're really waiting for. Oh no, safety car called in once again. So the intervention will cease and we will get back to green flag racing for the next hour. But Goose and Toomey are the ones that have already fallen, and we will wait and see whether anybody else falls. Let's keep our eyes on the leader and see when he decides to go. And a bit of a... Oh, Jammy! Oh no, Jammy's made a big mistake! Jammy's made a huge mistake while warming his tyres up under the safety car, and he's hit his rival Kase as well. While doing so, he has to use his free toe. And I wonder what the damage is for Kase. Both of them, they both have to use their free toe in this race. That is consequential. I think the restart procedure is cancelled. Everyone's put under full course yellow. The leader is now Kimi Dekunda. And both drivers will now have used their free toe, so they can't have any incidents now. That's huge. Jammy making a huge mistake. And they're almost going to go a lap down here as well. And yeah, this is huge. Big mistake.
This is crazy. But maybe, just maybe, that was a strategy move. Oh, since now they have fresher tires, Kimi is holding back everything. Oh, no.
He just gets out ahead, so they don't have to unlap themselves. But Kase is leading in front of Jammy. That was a huge mistake from Jammy. We saw him make a mistake, a clumsy mistake, for example, on the formation lap of Watkins Glen when he crashed there as well.
Yeah.
And just another silly one, trying to put too much temperature into his tyres, a bit like JTR, and having a spin that cost him and Kase their free toes to the pit lane, and now they cannot make a single race-ending mistake in this race. Kase apparently a legal overtake is what Kimi is trying to call from race control. I don't think it was illegal if it's in the pit lane. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But that changes things dramatically. Kase and Jammy will now have to work their way through all of these midfield and back marker cars who can be incredibly slow at times. And yeah, well, I mean, they've got an hour, so it's not the end of the world, but it's frustrating.
Yeah, there's 1 hour left, and as we saw, Shadow has a lot of pace here, especially on the corners, and Jammy has caught up not once, not twice, but 3 times, which is a really, really good pace, especially in under 1 hour.
Minute again as well, quickly.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting how the lineup is looking. Where is Jammy? Is he in the back? I think he is. Is he? Yeah, he is in the back of the hall. He needs to catch up to everyone, and especially for Caddy. A really, really interesting race. First enduro race, remind you. We are going to have more races, especially on the Nürburgring, which is going to be a really interesting watch. As the green flags are waved, we are awaiting for our leader Kimi to start the initiation of our second sprint. We are officially under 1 hour left. We'll see how everything will turn out. Will he be able to hold everyone back so that Jammy can catch up? Will he get an even bigger paycheck after this race? We will see. As we go.
Just back in the nick of time. Oh,
green flag.
What's going on here? Kimi is coming into the pits. You said it was going green flag, but these drivers seem to be thinking otherwise. I'm not sure what's going on here.
Yes, this might be a strategy from Shadow Racing, as Kimi is continuing
They have gone. They have gone. The
back.
leader has gone. So Train Raider inherits the lead after a bit of a weird strategy from the Shadow Racing cars yet again. But he runs wide there, and that's going to allow Car Driver to get an opportunity potentially and set up a switchback on the Trainer car. But Black Demon is looking hungry in the background, and he's actually trying to now switch back the Kanori Motorsport car. But he's got C's up his inside, and C's just has to be careful not to make any contact with Black Demon. And he actually almost rolls over and goes off the track in the background there, as is the right. Oh, and it makes contact. C's tries to go up the inside of Black Demon, and they do make contact. Black Demon manages to firm it. A big whack from the rear, and that puts C's now back down the field once again. Black Demon potentially with problems after that contact, and he does run awfully wide, and that's going to allow JTR to get through on this occasion. But a little bit of drama on the restart. Shadow Motorsport once again going for a weird strategy, and C's and Black Demon making contact, but Car Driver out in front is still trying to line up Train Raider, and he manages to get him in the same place that he did when we were riding on board last time. And through goes Car Driver on the Scuderia Trainer car, and he should just be able to hold the lead and stay in front once again. But he makes a bit of a mistake into that corner, but manages to hold on for that. Bit of a dramatic one, VRV.
It is. TTR P3, my guy, my GOAT, P3. He was knocked out, remind you, to the last place at the start, and has managed to catch up after a lot of trouble with spinning out, and he might actually get a move on Train Raider as he goes for the final chicane. Will he get the slipstream and overtake as Car Driver actually pulls away from Train? Maybe Kanori does actually cook with the
Black Demon speeding into the pits as well. He's decided to take his pit stop now with 57 minutes to go, and he's going to have to wait an extra 10 seconds for that one. That allows C through, and it should allow Kimi Dukunda, Kate and Jammy through. So Kate and Jammy still trying to catch up to the rest of the field here. I think that they were, that bottom three were the leaders in this race. And of course, through incidents and maybe a questionable strategy, they've dropped down the field. But we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Still lots of time to go. Train once again is being a good little roadblock through the S section. And JTR will potentially look to have a sniff. You can see he doesn't quite have the bold dare and courage of the other drivers, and lifts off to avoid running into the back of Train. And a bit wide of the apex there. He's given up a lot of time to Train, actually, potentially by mistake.
Yeah,
and,
I feel like TGR has built not a really good car this season. He did not really change anything, as he said. He changed some performance enhancing and regulations, but he did not change anything drastically.
Yeah,
maybe he is struggling.
We welcome back to the commentary box former world champion Tubi as well, who of course was our first retiree of this race. And I don't know if you've been following along, but what do you think of all the drama that's happened?
I indeed have been following, and I have been on a voice chat where I saw the incident happen on the safety car restart.
So tell us how the drivers reacted to that. Give us some insight.
So, from Jamie's point of view, he started weaving on the end to warm up his tires. Catalan had apparently hit him on the rear and bumped him into the barriers.
Interesting. So potentially a report coming after the race as we cut away from JTI, he actually managed to get a successful switch back on Train, and that could potentially leave Tuna going for a move on Train as well, but I think Train will just hold on to that one once again for now.
Yes,
it
seems like Treno has not in fact developed a good car. TGR has overtook him, Car Driver has overtook him. Either Train has some difficulties in his life. Maybe we just need to sit him down and ask him what is going on.
We know Train isn't the quickest driver, with all due respect, so potentially that trailer is just average and then it's being weighed down a little bit. But Tuna trying to line him up now, and it's the podium has become quite interesting in that sense, but it's given Car Driver a good opportunity to put himself back into this race and get some points for Kanori. Of course, a DNF in this race is extremely costly. Speaking of Car Driver, commentator's curse, he's apparently caused a yellow flag, but he's still running pretty smoothly out there. He's definitely lost time though, so a small mistake somewhere out there for car driver, who was 4 seconds clear and is now only 3. But yeah, like I was saying, a DNF extremely costly for points because endurance rounds give you many, many more points.
Exactly. We're looking for a GTR, maybe catching up to P1 potentially.
JTR Glaze needs to stop.
Meanwhile, Jamie is not catching up to Caddy. Maybe it is the tire problem. Maybe he has lost his motivation.
Surely not, right? I mean, if I'd had an incident at this point in the race, I've still got an hour to go. I'm not a lap down. I'm only 30 seconds behind, less than that. You've got to think there's still some fire left in the beast. And yeah, Shadow Racing, if they were to finish in these positions, well, we know they would definitely deserve more than they got. Train Raider pulls it into the pits to come for a stop. So does Car Driver as well. So those two refueling and putting a new set of tyres on. And away goes Car Driver.
He's collided with Cammy.
Oh, and Seas is having more problems out there. Seas potentially is going to be picking up penalty point after penalty point. Where has Kimmy come from, actually? Kimmy has been let through because of those pit stops, and he's now already back up into P2. So he made that slightly interesting, to say the least, pit stop with that slightly weirder strategy. But he has now got back up into P2, excuse me, and he will now look to line up JTR next. Of course, not one to back down from a fight is Kimmy. And he's got the slightly weaker confidence Catalan racing car in front of him, and he's going to go up the inside of Tuna into this corner. And Tuna, unlike his teammates early on, or about, let's say, 10-15 laps ago, Tuna does not go off the track and spin and continues on his way. So lap 32 then. Just over 50 minutes to go. I'll get to that in a second, but it's JTR leading from Kimmy, then Seas, then Kase, Car Driver, Jammy, Train, and Black Demon, with Tuna a lap behind. Go on.
Yeah, as we can see, Jammy is getting really close to Car Driver. Maybe he will fight. Maybe he won't. He's flashing his lights. Car Driver is under huge pressure right now. Will he be able to bear with it, or will he let Jammy pass?
Well, he's already just driven on the grass then. Yeah, they're heading up to 130R, and Jammy is looking to the inside, and there we go. Car Driver backs out pretty sensibly. And JTR now comes into the pits as well, so that does let Kimmy through. And yeah, easily done for the Shadow Racing car, who now leads again, and Jammy might even also get back up into P4 as a result of this pit stop. Yeah, not bad stuff. They're making their way through the field.
Yes, it's interesting how Caddy and Jammy will fight Seas, as he's in a really slow car. Will he held Caddy? Will he held Jammy?
Kate trying to go up the inside of Seas. There was almost more contact with the McKenna Racing car. And Kate just braving it around the outside of Seas. It takes someone brave to do that after the clear understeer that is in that car. And well, Seas trying to stick it out and get that track position. And is struggling in what is easily the worst car of the grid. Team owner Nevena saying the brick is on the podium. Well, you still got 50 minutes to go, mate. That's not going to last very long. Tuna has caused a yellow. He's gone off once again. And Tuna really, really not performing up to standards in that Catalan Racing car. And he's managed to avoid the wall, though. I'd say that's the only credit I can give him in that sense. And, yeah. Car Driver trying to... Oh, actually, has he got damage, I wonder? He's not going through the deckness very fast. And I wonder, is it going to be more drama for Tuna and potentially another pit stop? When's it time to throw the towel in?
Sadly, I don't think that's a car... Sadly, I don't think that's a car problem. Maybe Tuna has a small skill issue there. Yeah. Maybe he's not... Maybe he's not capable of just driving under the pressure of 2 hours.
No, well, he was exactly the same at Watkins Glen as well. So you have to question whether it's a bit like the... real-life Red Bull F1 driver problem, and whether the car is just too extreme for any other, let's say, average driver to be able to handle. But Jammy is putting away from Car Driver by a couple of tenths a lap, and Kase is trying his best to close down on Kimmy, who has inherited the race lead once again. Let's just have a little check of all their tyres. I think, where is Kimi? Kimi's tyres. Oh, Kimi's tyres have actually fixed on my screen finally, so that's good. Not sure when that happened, but so you can see he's got about 70% tyre wear. Let's use the front number as it's slightly less extreme. Catalan's on a similar amount, slightly more, maybe about 65%. As a Train Raider and Black Demon are having a bit of a tussle for P7 and P8, and Black Demon has overtaken Train. I imagine he'll pull away through the S section. Little suggestion from race control to view that one, and they make their way through the S section. Actually, Train Raider might manage to stay on the back of Black Demon, so we'll keep an eye on this battle. And let's see as they make their way towards Degnan 1. Will Train try anything? He isn't able to. Wow, hits the curb really badly, and that puts Train into a spin, and he goes into the sand. And well, this is why we weren't watching Train. He's bottled under the pressure and hit the curb badly.
Not in the wall.
No, exactly. That's good. Manages to continue on, but is now pretty much last of all the runners on the lead lap. And yeah, big mistake for Train, hitting the curb badly. And that will definitely damage his confidence. But back to what we were looking at, we've got Jammy trying to overtake Seas, and he's done that pretty easily. So Jammy on the lowest tyre wear of, or well, the most tyre wear of these guys, he's at about 60%. Kimi is around 65, and Kate is around 60 as well. So we will keep an eye on when these guys go into the stops and what their pit strategies are, as Car Drive will be the next to line up Seas here. And I imagine this will get done through the S section, you have to say, with that car being as slow as it is. And Car Driver just waiting, little look to the inside, and off the track goes Seas, and easily done for Car Driver, as Seas almost turns into the Canori Motorsport car, but manages to get through just fine. And yeah, pretty much what you'd expect there. Seas actually did almost struggles to keep on track, just showing you how difficult that description I can't say on stream of a car really is. And bouncing and bumping through all of the corners. But he will now continue to tumble down.
The Force India knockoff is struggling, especially in Suzuka. I think he has the confidence. He's a really good driver, but sadly the car is certainly not of a good quality. Kimi is actually keeping the gap to Caddy, 7.9 seconds. Pretty reasonable, really well.
Despite Canori Motorsport's issues as well, I'd say Car Driver is doing a decent job of staying with Jammy, actually. Oh, what? Is this desync? Something's happened to Car Driver. Oh. This might be big desync. Car Driver might have had some sort of computer issue. The wheel has failed. Mechanical failure for Car Driver, who is deep and buried into the wall. And that is understandably an intervention. And Kimi, Kate, Jammy will probably all get a free pit stop from this. And there goes the free tow of Car Driver, who immediately drops down to P8. And will now have much more work to do. Once again, the free tow, obviously quite lucky. If you do call out a safety car, you don't actually lose too much because you get to be on the lead lap. And you get to then re-overtake everybody as you're bunched up. So Kimi comes in, understandably. Like I said, Jammy has also... Where is Jammy? Did Jammy come in? I saw Jammy's name tag. I think Jammy came in. Yeah, Jammy is at the back of shot there. Jammy's in the pit lane. And so is Kate. And a pretty understandable free stop for most of these guys. And once again, we are re-bunched up here at Suzuka. And the order staying pretty much the same after the pit stops here too. Wow, that was a pretty huge shunt for Car Driver, going off at quite some speed. Yeah. And understandably in chat, he says he has a 3-minute pit stop to fix repairs. And yes, that's a big one.
But it is a good opportunity for Train, GTR and Seas to maybe gain positions and not being caught up in the starting chaos. And also for Shadow Racing, of course, Jammy has caught up to Caddy after a excruciating, like what, 5 laps of being behind him.
The big three are back together once again on track. We saw sparks flying last time, and I'd be interested to see what Shadow Racing could do this time around. And let's hope. I mean, Kate he said, Jamie said there was, or Tubi told us that Jamie said there was contact under the safety car. Potentially Kate is just getting too close to the leaders here. I don't want to make a problem out of nothing, but you never know with desync and stuff. You should always be a little bit, should always take a little bit more care, especially when you're not about to restart. Then, you know, you don't want to be making contact unnecessarily. But 44 minutes to go. Safety car deployed once again. And it's Kimi Dukunda who leads after 36 laps, followed by Matteo Catalan in the Catalan racing car. And then Shadow Racing teammate Jamie is rounds out the podium, followed by Seas, who will most likely drop down from that position with a car that is several seconds slower per lap. Then Black Demon, Train, JTR, Tuner from Hell, and I think Car Driver will be coming out once more. So Car Driver will definitely be trying to charge up to P4, I believe.
BSA just said that Caddy is getting a warning for contact under safety car.
Yeah, so pretty understandable there. It looks quite close, and yeah.
Will this affect somehow? Will this ruin Caddy's game when he gets a second warning? That is the huge question. He needs to drive really careful. He has no resets, no amount of warnings left, so it will be a minor inconvenience if he will have even a small mistake.
Yeah, Tuner going off as well while he's trying to unlap himself. JCR, he did deploy a yellow flag a minute ago, and it looks like he's towed to the pits as well. I don't remember if he used his free reset, but according to the BSA, he had not, so he actually reset whilst all that was going on, and he drops down to P7 as a result. Train Raiders come back into the pits again. I wonder, oh, it looks like he's on old tyres anyway, so he'll be changing off of those. And yep, other than that, things staying pretty much as they are, and Kimi Dukunda doing everything to keep heat into his tyres here. That's a bit more risk than I would be taking, that's for sure, but that just shows you how confident he is with the control of his car and how comfortable he is. But look at that, look, I said don't take too much risk. The Shadow Racing drivers are just being clumsy here. They're trying too much, they're doing too much to put temperature into their tyres, and Kimi Dukunda, if he stayed off track for any longer there, Catalan would have been completely in his right to overtake him. They need to sort themselves out a bit.
I'm pretty sure this is a car problem, since both of Shadow Racing are weaving from left to right, from left to right.
But I don't think they should be doing it that extreme. I think they're trying too hard to keep the temperature, is what I'm saying.
Maybe they have no other choice. Maybe they have a huge cooling, like a lot of cooling on their brakes. Potentially could be a car's problem, potentially could be a coincidence, but safety car is probably gonna be taken down after this lap. So potentially green flags after this one.
Yeah, we expect the intervention to be removed shortly, and that will leave our three leaders to go ham and go full out attack on each other once again. And obviously they were putting on a good show last time around, and I think we expect pretty much the same this time too. And so Jamie also just keeping temperature in his tyres. Kate trying his best to do so too, with a more traditional brake dragging method. And it will be Kimi then who will lead us away, and I will hope to be incident free before they get to the timing line.
Ooh, Jamie can't wait to overtake Caddy, flashing his lights.
Mind games again.
Resist this opportunity.
Yeah. Well, it's the Dutch versus the Italian versus the Brit for the win here at the 2 hours of Suzuka. And of course, you need a pretty good car underneath you if you want even a sniff at trying to win this race. Here we go. This looks like deja vu, doesn't it? A Shadow Racing absolutely trying its best to keep tyre temperature out in front. Catalan getting extremely close to the back of it, but has left a little bit more room this time. And Kimi now puts his foot to the floor. And with just under 40 minutes to go, we will restart the 2 hours of Suzuka. Our big three players are in P1, P2 and P3 in prime positions to attack each other and continue this fight and continue continue this race. Keep an eye in the background for C's tumbling down the order, potentially with a mistake at turn 1, as that car, we know, is extremely undrivable and is definitely slower than the likes of GeForce Racing, Scuderia Treno and Top Dog Racing. Let's actually have a look as we make our way down to turn 1. It's Kimi who leads from Kate and then Jammy. And for now, C's manages to hold on as Black Demon is having a huge moment back there and actually goes off the track and is overtaken by Train. And C's lives to see another day as those two bicker amongst themselves instead. And yeah, a pretty quiet restart here.
Yeah, the spotlight is on Jammy and Kane. Will they fight? Will they just catch up to Kimi? And will there be an accident? This, I think 5 laps is gonna be the deciders. Next 5 laps are gonna say who will be P1, P2.
You reckon? Well, it's still 30.
It's always, yeah.
Well, especially if there's an incident, I think. I'm not sure if there's as much time to be able to catch up now. But you can see Kimi's actually made a mistake there, by the way.
Yeah, two Shadow Racing cars are sandwiched. Kate is sandwiched between 2 Shadow Racing cars. It will put a lot of pressure, especially with only 38 minutes left. This is going to be really interesting, the next 10 or 20 minutes.
And potentially still another stop to go here as well. So there's also going to be pit strategy coming into it. Let's watch the gap between Kimi and Kate as they head now up towards 130R. And you can see the time slowly dripping away as Kate gets the slipstream and has the better top speed and has the confidence through 130R. He really sent it in there and gained almost 2 tenths alone through that corner. And Kimi has gone wide of the first apex. He's making a bit of a mess of this race lead at the moment. It's always easier to hunt than be hunted when it comes to these sorts of things. And he heads on to lap 39 with only half a second advantage. And the same goes for Catalan behind him with Jammy close to the rear end. C's has been overtaken by Train Raider in the meantime, and I think Black Demon will be looking to line up the Irish team as well with the Austrian driver. And C's is actually staying really close to the back of Train. I mean, that just shows you potentially how much more performance is in the Scuderia Treno. And yeah, Black Demon actually not quite catching up as much as C's as he would like, but Kate is catching up to Kimi quite a bit. Had a decent run up the hill out of Dunlop and towards Degner 1. And let's see how he takes this one. A dab at the brakes. And then getting on the throttle and a dab at the brakes again. I mean, the ride in the Catalan racing car just looks so smooth, does it not?
It does. It does.
Whoa, and a little look there as Kimi, I think, broke a little bit early, and C's has gone off in the background as well, and that's allowed Black Demon to overtake Kimi. He's caused a yellow flag, but Kate, a little indecisive there. Do I go to the inside? And opted to place it in the middle, and that just backs him and Jammy up just a touch. And he'll now have to regain on the shadow again once again. But look how hard Kimi is pushing out in front. Some of that will be desync for sure, but the fact he is sliding around so much just shows you how hard he is working here. And yeah, well, I think Jammy actually has a great chance here, and he's actually on the grass. Yeah, and Jammy up the inside of the Catalan racing car, and into 130. He's not going to back out, and they're going to go side by side, and inevitably they make contact, and Catalan heads straight into the wall. Catalan might be out of this race. Huge drama at 130R. He doesn't have a free reset. He's missing at least 2 of his tyres. He's been punted straight into the wall. A full course yellow is deployed, and is that it for Catalan Racing here today? KXR with big damage. He can't move. He can't move. So. He's stuck. He can't get it back to the pits. Yeah. He is out of this race unless he can get that one tyre that is still spinning going. But that is huge damage and huge drama. Let's get off board as well. Another shot of the Catalan racing car. Massive drama, and potentially one of our race victory contenders out at 130R after being sent off towards the wall at ridiculous speeds with no control and a big shot into the wall. And what the rule is, if you're not exceeding 50 miles an hour, then you have to pull over and retire. But he is so close to the pits that I think he's going to try his luck. And he's also towed. He's out. And he's actually also towed into another car as well. That's going to cause some drama with C's. We'll get to that later. But Kate out of the race. And you said these next 5 minutes were going to be deciding for this one. And that is exactly what's happened. Shadow Racing now lead 1-2 in a race where big constructors' points and big points overall are on the line. He is out of the race. Yeah. A green flag is called and we are racing once again.
Yeah, just looking at the replay, I see that Jamie had too much speed through 130R. He collides with Caddy and he damages the wheel, the front left wheel that basically decides Caddy's fate.
I mean, I haven't seen it
after this one.
I haven't seen it personally again myself, but it looked like maybe a little bit of both. I think Jamie went a little bit too narrow on the racing line considering the speed he had, and I think Kate didn't quite leave him enough space as well, but I think they'll be going to the stewards after that one because that has cost Kate huge points. We will see after the race how many points he has lost and what kind of swing that gives for Shadow Racing, but that is incredibly consequential to the standings. You can see Train is getting swallowed up in the background while we were discussing this incident, and I think Car Driver will get another easy overtake on the trainer machine, and that's probably the third time we've seen that to date. And into 130R they go. Car Driver essentially backs out. I don't think there was a need for that. And he will now have to re-overtake Train again. But wow, I mean, yeah, I'm pretty lost for words after that incident. It takes a little bit of a spark out of the race as well, you have to say, as it is now just two teammates against each other. And you'd imagine those two would play it much more sensibly than what happened with Kate and Jamie. But they took big risks and they got big, well, I can't really say rewards, but they got big prizes.
Yeah. It is the question, though. Will there be another incident between two teammates, Kimi and Jamie?
Well, that's what I was just saying. You have to think, surely not, right?
Surely not. Surely not. But what do you think, chat? What do you think, chat?
Getting the opinions from the viewers. I mean, think about it this way. They've got half an hour to go. They are the class of the field. They have zero competition now. And, you know, if there's an intervention, all they've got to do is just pull away sensibly like that, as well as Black Demon almost goes off the track in the foreground.
I do agree with you, but as we know, Kimi and Jamie both have a huge ego. Maybe they will actually fight and they will have an incident.
Well, we'll
going
see.
into 130R.
We will see. As,
we'll see.
Investigated post-race confirmed by the BSA, who note that decision. And Car Driver has once again got Train in the same spot that he always does. And third time we've seen that during this race. But coming back to our leaders, well, what else is there to say, I suppose? That was a huge dramatic moment. I can't really believe what I've seen still, to be honest. It just seemed entirely predictable that it was going to happen. And it's like inevitable. It was just a crash waiting to happen. And I wonder what the stewards will think of that one. If Kate left enough space and did everything he reasonably could have to go alongside with Jamie, then I think it'll be an easy penalty for the Shadow Racing driver. But if Jamie got squeezed and couldn't do much more, then you have to say it would be a racing incident. And I wonder if he's sustained a bit of damage from that, because it was a reasonable whack, I suppose, between the two. And 4.5 seconds behind his teammate now. Yeah, crazy work. First enduro race just shows how much potential in content there is. As Jamie, losing a little bit of time. I think he does, in fact, have a little bit of damage on his car. Will he be able to catch up to Kimi? Will he be able to pull off a crazy move? Will anyone outside top 2 will be able to catch up to Jamie? That is the real question, which is going to be decided in the last 30 minutes of this race. Well, never say never, but you'd imagine that it'll be pretty smooth sailing for Shadow Racing from here. And the only real challenge they've got left is pit stops. But other than that, not much to threaten them now, I suppose. I think Kate will still hold the fastest lap after all is said and done. If there is a safety car and Jamie were to get a post-race penalty and he isn't able to put a gap, then that could potentially knock him off the podium. But you need probably a safety car, I think, within the very last couple of laps, because I think he'd pull, a 5-10 second gap pretty easily. And yeah, but all just feels a little bit quieter now, doesn't it? You don't have the roaring high RPM Catalan engine chasing down the 8,500 RPM whatever is inside the Shadow Racing cars.
Yes, there isn't, but there is car driver. There is car driver who does in fact trying to get opportunity on Black Demon. Black Demon goes off the track. Car driver has an opportunity and he gets it. He's still one lap behind, but he is on the way to Kimi to regain that lap. Yeah, other than that, the field has become quite boring. There is a lot of question to Shadow Racing, a lot of question to Caddy. What happened? What happened?
Well, I wonder actually. It might be worth. Let's see if we can pull. Oh, is Cat in the VC? Caddy's deafened actually, so we still can't talk to him about that. And,
yeah, but we can see the replay. I did in fact send it to you, so
okay. So I'll have, let's have a look at this again. So I'll just describe this one first. It's hard to say. It looks like, I think how I describe it is Catalan turns in to begin with, and I think that spooks Jammy. So Jammy clambers all over the curb, thinking that he's going to get turned in on, and then Catalan does in fact leave the space, and Jammy ends up bouncing out and washing wide into the Italian driver. Oh, I don't know what I think, to be honest. I think I definitely want to hear from both drivers in this situation, because there's clearly some levels to it. But
we definitely cannot judge it.
No, exactly.
We need to hear from everyone. Yeah,
you've got to make, you have to make a split decision, and I think at that split decision point, it looks like Catalan was going to turn across Jammy. So I don't completely fault him for riding over the curb and taking all of that grass, which is what resulted in him washing out into Jammy. But we'll wait and see, into Catalan, but we'll wait and see what the stewards think of that one. I imagine it will be a report. And I wonder, I'm going to see if I can show this on the stream actually, while there isn't as much going on here. Let's have a look.
Okay, Car Driver and Black Demon is
you keep an eye on the field for us.
Exactly. And Jammy cannot find any pace. Oh, actually, he can. What is happening to Kimi? Jammy has gained more than half a second in less than, 2 seconds?
Yeah, but Kimi
there's definitely something wrong with Kimi. I
just...
think his tires are worn off. He does, in fact, look quite exhausted, or there is something wrong with his car. Maybe it is desync, but I see some damage to his rear left wheel. But it could be a possibility for him to get an even bigger paycheck after all of the controversy that surrounded him.
Yeah, 100%.
Other than that, Train Raider P3, Black Demon, and Car Driver are at the back. Tease. Could he be able to win P4? Huge points for McKenna with the slowest
I have to say, he's I don't know whether he's just doing a good job or whether everyone else is doing a bad job, but I would have expected JTR to have cleared C's already and be producing a big gap, but, well, you never know. Potentially JTR just doesn't quite have the pace out there. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, but if we look at GTR right now, C's actually locks up. Maybe there is a possibility for a battle.
Oh, Kimi's in the pits. Kimi has come into the pits, so he is making what is probably one of his final pit stops, and will be undercutting his teammate. And he actually just misses his box there, so that will cost him a couple of seconds here. And pulls away quickly. And a pretty easy stop done there.
Yeah.
And I imagine Jammy will be coming in pretty soon as well.
Oh yeah, TGR maybe going for a move after 130R, 20 meters to C's, and he's still lift.
Yep, Train Raider's come in as well, but is going to lose 10 seconds, and that could put him behind Black Demon for whenever Black Demon boxes. We'll have to wait and see how that turns out.
Black Demon just boxed, so he has a fresh tires train is losing a lot of places.
Yeah, I mean, I think JTR will at least have to stop again just from looking at his tyre wear. So that could be another position.
Yeah, CSP4. This is massive for McKenna. Only 2 seconds to Black Demon. Maybe a potential podium. The first podium for the Irish team.
I'm not sure if we're going to get
amazing
a podium.
Job.
Let's be realistic. I mean, Caesars must be doing a pretty good job to be able to stay in front of these guys in such a bad car.
Yeah.
But I think a podium would be quite an ask, I think. But
yeah.
Let's see. Is Casse up for speaking? Oh, Caesar's got off. Caesar's got off while I was checking that. He's had a big one, but he's not got stuck in the barriers. And so he can continue going. And there go those podium hopes of C's, because I imagine he's not going to be overtaking anybody anytime soon. And he gets it out of the gravel. And that is down to P5. And I think Tuna will, well, you'd imagine Tuna will dispatch him pretty quickly. And let's just see if we can talk to Catalan. And he mentions in the YouTube chat that he is here. We can talk to Catalan. So, well, Kate, that is incredibly unfortunate, extremely dramatic. Crash at 130. I just watched it back on a stream as well, and it looked like I would lean more towards a racing incident. What was it from your perspective?
I mean, I'm kind of pissed overall because during the whole race, I have the HUD, which also gives you the last lap of the guy that you are racing against. And I was noticing how sometimes Kimi and Yami were doing laps 2 to 3 seconds slower, but still keeping up, meaning they were cutting a lot to even just being side to side with me. Then the first time, even though I don't know, I should rewatch what happened with Kimi before the airpin.
What is he doing?
I got the first contact there. Then the second contact I had with Shadow Car was with Yami in the restart, where I did not touch him, contrary to what the warning says. Yami was just swerving around like for the past safety cars too. He lost control, and as I was right behind him, I got collected in him getting stuck into the wall, and I had to use the first two. And right after the safety car, Yami was back behind me, and I left all the space I could give him on the inside, and he still went all the way to the outside and just pushed me into the wall.
But that's what I was going to ask you, because we watched it back on the stream, and it looked like he got spooked because you initially turned in, and it didn't look like you were going to leave him space. But then eventually it opened up. So I wonder if he committed thinking you were going to turn across him, and that is what resulted in the collision.
Let's say that I wanted to cover him on the inside, but then he went to the inside at the same moment. So as soon as I noticed that he was going to the inside in the straight, I then went back.
But at 130R?
No, I wanted the. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, even before the contact, I don't know,
it's hard to say. I think we're going to have to wait for a steward verdict for sure. And if you're watching along on the stream and you want to find out about that, then make sure you join the Discord channel so you can see all the results and all of the steward decisions. But I mean, yeah, that is incredibly unfortunate. I think you had some great battles out there, especially with Kimi as well in the earlier stages of the race. Do you know how many points you're going to lose or how badly it's going to cost you?
It's going to cost me badly because I can't do the endurance in race 5, so my target was to at least get a P2 with the ESA points of the fastest lap and the pole to somehow cover the points loss I would have in race 5, race 5. But now it's going to just be really costly. And I also wonder how many penalties do Kimi and Yami have, because in my opinion, at least from what I saw in the HUD, sometimes they were 2 to 3 seconds slower in a lap for what the game said, and then they were gaining on me. Which means only that...
yeah, that means they've exceeded track limits, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I was quite sure that even if I finished P1 or P2 or P3, but in the same group as them, I would have still won. So it's even sadder to...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, a couple more questions. A real controversial race, first of all. It's really unfortunate that you are out. A lot of great battles. Are you happy with the results overall? Are you happy with Jamie potentially getting a win?
I mean, I'm not happy at all because for me, Kimi and Yami are both championship competitors in my view, and today it was a possibility to even try and gain more time more points on them, or at least get a gain on one of the two. Because if I finished P2, I would have gained 6 points on the guy in P3 and lose 4 points to the guy in P1. This way I just lose a massive amount of points. Car driver looks like he also had bad luck, so Antonio DNF, so at least on the Konori side of the driver standings it's a little bit better. But I'm not happy at all for the results.
Yeah, understandably.
Okay. Have you understood any problems with your car? Maybe something to improve on, maybe something to fix in your car?
So pace-wise, my car was doing pretty good, even though sometimes my pace in today's race wasn't the best because I was always under attack by the shadows. But
we saw it.
The main issue in this specific race, for some reason, was the tire wear. I had a lot more tire wear compared to Konori or Shadow. So my undercut, for example, was not even an undercut made because I wanted to overtake them, but it was mostly because my tires were lasting less than theirs, sadly. So I had that issue from the beginning of the weekend. The safety cars were kinda helping. But yeah. And I'm also sad because seeing the gaps at 70 minutes to go, no matter how many penalties the Shadows will have, they most probably still be 1-2.
Yeah, well, I mean, you three were all in a class of your own today, and I think Konori have definitely got things to look at and study and understand why they were so far off the pace as well. But yeah, that's with 15 minutes to go, talking to Matteo Catalan, who of course had that dramatic crash with Jamie out there on track, and as a result, DNF'd from the race after just about an hour and a half. And yeah, well, I mean, incredibly unfortunate. It's just, he's clearly not happy, and I wouldn't be.
Yeah, a really bad weekend for the Red Bull team and Konori, of course. It seems like after Tuomi's DNF, the motivation itself in the team has disappeared, as car driver is 1 lap behind everyone. Cease is sadly P7. He couldn't handle all of the pressure. But yeah, a really good weekend for GeForce though. They have a lot of progress. Black Demon is in P3 with a reasonable gap to P4. GTR, meanwhile, P4 train with an unfortunate P5. I think he could have performed way better, especially in Treno. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, I don't know, Train's always been a mixed bag. I mean, from team principal as well, I mean, I'm not sure his future is completely secure at the team. I think there's definitely questions about, you know, why he's driving so slow. Why? Because I think the maximum that could be extracted out of that car is a lot more. And that's not from me just guessing, that's from me, you know, being told from different people related to the team. And so, I mean, actually he's going wheel to wheel with Tuna at the moment, and Tuna's overtaken him. But I mean, we can follow him for a lap, but, you know, the lines aren't always perfect. You know, the apex speeds aren't always great. And, yeah, I don't know, I feel like the pressure just got into his nerves. He cannot handle 2 hours of race. Yeah. As actually, Jamie is losing a lot of time. 5 seconds whilst we talked. I think he has some problems. Maybe, yeah.
Or Kimi has found his pace.
I mean, let's have a quick look at their tyre wear, see they might be stopping again. 70% is not bad. I don't remember how long ago they last stopped. What about Jammy? Jammy's at... Oh, Jammy's is desync, we can't see. But yeah, I mean, even if they stop, I think they've got a pit stop over everybody else, so they can just kind of do what they want in that matter. Kimmy will definitely be wanting the actual race victory, especially considering the fact that Catalan, you know, is not on the table and all of that. And yeah, what if for Kanori Motorsport? That's for sure as well. Obviously, they said they were plagued by a glitch, which does happen sometimes with these automation cars. Just part of the series, pretty much. Yeah, they miss out on big points. I think we've already got 2 endurances, so the guys that haven't made it to the line will be suffering the most. And I don't know if you can check the attendance channel, see how many points they get for endurance, because I don't actually know off the top of my head.
Yeah, give me a second.
Sure. But we can see as well, Car Driver has actually closed up to Jammy. Have you got it?
Yeah, so P1 will get 25 points, almost... Yeah, 25 points, 9 points more than in the race. But Caddy, by the way, will get actually a fastest lap 2 points for this one. At least something. Yeah. Because it is a...
And I think he'll get something for qualifying as well. I think you mentioned that when we were talking to him. Yeah, you can see that Car Driver, you know, he would have been on track to achieve good things, I think, if it wasn't for that wheel failure, which is incredibly unfortunate, of course. That was our first big shunt of 2, I think. Meanwhile, Black Demon has come into the pits, so he'll be overtaken by the likes of JTR, and I think he'll get out ahead of of Tuna from Hell. And so he'll now try and hunt down JTR and try and claim that last place on the podium, and that could be a penalty or an investigation for crossing the pit exit line there as well. And I wonder if that'll be noted at all. But yeah, 12 minutes to go. 2 hours of Suzuka has proved to be pretty thrilling, I have to say.
Yeah, exactly. And with more races like this coming up, like Nordschleife, it is going to be a really interesting watch.
100%.
I must admit.
Car Driver is trying his best to make sure he doesn't finish this race lapped. And well, we've still got 17 seconds to catch, even if he overtakes Jammy here. And yeah, well, could be all hope is lost. I don't really see, you know, not to commentate his cursing, but I don't see any of these guys really making a safety car interventing mistake, if you know what I mean, for the rest of this race. And yeah, well, we kind of just wait and see these next 11 minutes out, I suppose. Not much to happen. I think we wait and see if Black Demon can bring the fight to JTR, whether JTR needs to stop again or not. And we sit tight and we wait. But this is, you know, to be fair, this is what we expected from the endurance rally. We weren't expecting you know, we got spoiled in a sense. We weren't expecting there to be a big fight for the top 3 for pretty much an hour and a half straight, you have to say. And, but it had to boil over at some point, and so it did. Unfortunate for Toomey, he never quite seems to get a hang of things at GTWC. He quite often has DNFs or incidents out there, not quite the same consistency that we see in his Formula racing, where he's previously won a World Championship, and he's tipped to win this season's Formula 3 Championship too. But yeah, it's not quite that same perfect record in GTWC for sure, and he definitely will be upset by that.
Well, yeah, there's certainly a lot of drivers which focus on different categories. There's Tuomi for Formula, he has been a beast there. And Jammy and Kimi Dekundar, which focus on the supercars in general.
Car Driver is coming into the pits once more, so he will definitely not be unlapping himself, I think it's safe to say. So unfortunate for Car Driver, who is probably just one of the drivers who are seeing this race out, so to speak.
Yeah, and whilst we have a minute or so, I think we should discuss who are we gonna ask for interview. For sure, we should ask like Shadow Racing for sure.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, we get Kimmy and Jammy. I think we can probably just get confirmation from Car Driver as well, because he was going to be a front runner. But I think everyone else we've already spoken to be fair. We've got 2 DNFs, and then that's about it. But we'll definitely
probably Train Raider too.
You think
he had a really bad? I think so. I mean, we should ask him what happens. What is the state of the car?
Right. Yeah. Okay. He'll probably just call himself bad, to be fair. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
9 minutes to go. Not long for these drivers now to finish up their races and make it to the checkered flag. And there'll only be 8 of them if it continues the way it is at the moment. But not bad considering how things are sometimes in BeamNG racing and the inconsistencies people can have. Tuna from Hell comes into the pits again, so he won't be overtaking Black Demon just yet. We'll see where he comes out compared to Train. I think Train might be too far back on this occasion. I think this will be easy for Tuna to hold on to his position. Not bad. I mean, at least, you have to remember, at least Catalan Racing, the constructor, is still scoring some points. But for the drivers, it's pretty big that Cate's not won this race. It's actually going to be really close. And look at that. That should be a penalty. Tuna has completely crossed onto the wide. Has he put himself into the wall? He's put himself almost... Yeah, he's put himself into the wall. And Tuna is going to cause an intervention here because he's crossed the pit exit line. He's broken the rules. And, oh no, he's going to keep going. He's going to keep going. But he's crossed the pit exit line. He's almost crashed into Train, and then he's gone off and received a full dose of karma by hitting the barrier.
That was really bad.
Just wasn't needed, was it? Yeah. Because now Catalan Racing is going to score even less points. Yeah, that was silly. But that sums up how Tuna has been driving in the Catalan Racing, to be harsh. It's harsh but true, you have to say. And a Car Driver will just navigate his way.
This is going to be interesting.
Around Tuna.
We have full course yellow.
Yep, I'm not actually sure if a Car Driver gets to overtake Tuna. I think he does. I'm not actually sure. I think he should. He's a damaged car, to be fair. He's limping. I think maybe Race Control would have to clear that for him, but...
I mean, yeah, to be fair, Tuner from Hell is the one who caused full course yellow, so he should be overtaken.
No, off he goes. Right, now he can definitely overtake. Oh, come on, Car Driver, just go past. There we go.
Sometimes these guys other than that, Cease is one of the guys that we did not expected to finish P6. In the worst car, P6 is a really good points. It is exactly 8 points.
Not bad at all. In fairness, JTR has been saved by this as well. He gets to make a free pit stop and has kept a pretty decent gap to Black Demon. He's just about stayed in front by about, what is that, 3 seconds roughly? 4 seconds? Actually more than that. The gap is absolutely opening up here. Now it's 5 seconds. But yeah. Actually, is JTR speeding? No. Don't know. His gap was increasing quite a bit. It's fine.
I have some concerns about Jammy. Maybe he's running out of fuel. He is, in fact, slowing down and getting off the throttle.
I think Jammy's okay. He looks fine on my screen.
Fuel. Yeah. Never mind. He has 42 liters of fuel. This is
look at the gap while we were discussing everything. Look at the gap his teammate has opened up to him. Yeah. That's more of what I expected this season. In fairness, I expected Kimmy to be quite clear of Jammy and to be quite dominant and be fighting more with Kase. But Jammy has done a pretty good job, all things said. I think Jammy is definitely fuel saving. You see he was just pulling in the clutch there while going downhill. And
but never say never. There is Tuner who might not be able to go to the pits, or he might cause another crash, as he will be getting lapped soon. He is in coming to the straight before 130R. There is a possibility. There is a chance.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, it's still very poor from Tuner. I think I mentioned it at Watkins Glen. I would definitely be considering who I can take as another driver if I can take anybody. It might be that there's nobody, you know, faster than Juna that Catalan can actually, you know, nick off of anybody. Because there is still a limited driver pool. It's not infinite.
I mean, honestly...
Oh, that's it. That's it for Tuna. He's in the sticky barrier.
Yeah.
And... Oh, I mean... What does race control do? Do they leave it at a full course and just wait for him to be auto-towed? The intervention is already out. So, oh no, they're gonna call it completely.
Oh.
So that we are gonna get
4 minutes.
We are gonna get the end that we discussed and predicted to this one. And it'll be a free stop for Kimi Dekunda, for Jammy, for JTR, for Black Demon, for everybody pretty much, as Catalan Racing will score no points today, apart from the fastest lap and qualifying points done from the hard work of Matteo Catalan. That is disastrous. Well, that is disastrous. Yes, that's exactly what Shadow Racing and Kanori Motorsport would have wanted, though.
Yes. Whilst it's really sad for Red Bull team here, we have 2 Shadow Racing cars. They are probably going to fight with each other.
Oh my goodness, car driver's had a moment. Car driver has damage out there. Something's happened to the Kanori Motorsport car. We could yet see another team not scoring points out there. He's keeping enough speed to comply with the regulations, which is good. But you can see something has clearly happened to that car out there. How much of that is desync and how much isn't won't be completely clear, as he does have quite a lot of ping. But yeah, let's just hope he can make it back to the pits now.
But it is clearly... We're clearly sure that it is a disaster for Kanori. We have 1 DNF and 1 who will be outside the top 5, which is really
this is huge for Shadow Racing. It's gone pretty much exactly their way, you have to say. This is exactly what they wanted.
Yeah. Will everyone pit though? That's the question. We have...
well, Kimi's not going to.
Jammy's gonna pit. Jammy's gonna pit.
Why is Kimi not boxed? On my screen, his fuel and his tyres are both incredibly low, so I don't see why Kimi wouldn't box, but let's just hope for his sake that he's in a state where he can continue.
Although I'm not sure if this is the right call for Jammy, since it is only less than 2 minutes left, and
but if it's to be fair, it's a free. They've got the gap, so they can take it. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no risk. You might as well take a free pit stop if you can, as car driver is really struggling to get back to the pits here.
I mean, but are you going to do something in 1 minute? There's like 40 seconds on safety car.
There's no consequence, is my point.
We have
there's no harm in doing it. He's not lost anything.
I mean, yeah, true.
So I think that's exactly why he did it.
Yeah.
But yep, car driver's day goes from bad to worse. He definitely won't be proceeding any further in this race other than P7, you have to say. You could say that it might be podium secured for JTR, depends if we get going or not, but just from the looks of things here, and a Black Demon is pushing him along to catch the safety car queue. And
yeah, but to be fair, there is still some possibility for battle between Black Demon and GTR. This is going to be really interesting. And with less than 1 minute left, can there be any battles, or is this race gonna end in the safety car? That is the question. Will there be overtime?
No, there won't be overtime.
Yeah, I'm just joking.
But 56 laps completed, and we are almost at the finish. You'd have to say, depending on where Kimi Dekunda is, it looks like this very well could be the last lap of the race. And, well, Shadow Racing have, like we said, done pretty much everything they needed to, and have placed all of their jinxes and curses correctly, because they've got both Kanori Motorsport scoring hardly any points. They've got Catalan Racing scoring nothing from the race. And they, meanwhile, take home all the points from a big endurance race. And the safety car will be ending, but of course they can't overtake until the timing line, so nothing will come of that anyways. And so you have to say the race order will be Kimi Dekunda, then Jamiroquai, then JTR and Black Demon, and we will wait for confirmation as they cross the line. And well, let's just hope none of them actually crash and make a mistake as they get there. But of course, no overtaking until the timing line. And we wait for the drivers to cross the finish line. And it will be dominance in Suzuka for Shadow Racing. They will come up to the line, and it will be Kimi Dukunda who takes his first win in GTWC Season 7. Kimi Dukunda wins the 2 hours of Suzuka. Jamie comes home to make it a Shadow Racing 1-2 and pick up huge points on their rivals in the constructors and in the driver's standings. Black Demon manages to get a podium at the end though. I'm not actually sure. I think Black Demon maybe had less penalties than the rest of the field. The JTR in P4 manages to clinch some pretty decent points for Makeda Racing, all things considering, and how slow their car is. And Train Raider will finish in P6 with Car Driver rounding out the finishers. 7 finishers at the end here. And wow, yeah, a pretty spicy 2 hours of Suzuka, you have to say.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Actually, I have one more question. Should we invite a creator of Konori car? Since
we'll get to it. We'll go through the order for sure. And back to the pits. Everybody goes. We will wait and get our drivers for the interviews. So we'll bring in Kimi Dukunda first, bringing home the win here. And we'll get his teammate Jamie in at the same time. And yeah, well, Kimi Dukunda taking home your first win in GTWC this season and scoring big points against everybody in the constructors and drivers along with your teammate. What a spicy race. Take us through from start to finish for us.
Yeah, it was a crazy race. The battle with Kade that we had, it was insane. If it wasn't for the incident, I think it would have been going on for the whole race. Yeah, then, so basically, I was just stuck behind him. I tried to overtake him everywhere. But I had a glitch, an engine failure, and I was losing so much on the straights. And that basically was the point where I was like, am I gonna win this? Yes, no. Then I went on his inside, and then into the hairpin, I don't know, I was on the curb, I left him enough space and he just ran wide by himself and then spun. And then I just kept on going. Then the incident with Jamie, I don't know what happened, I had a gap of 5 seconds I think. And then I boxed quite early, and then I kept on having pace, like consistently doing 51.2, 51.3. I was, even when having worse tires than Jamie, just gaining on him. And then at the end I had 16% left of tires. Just nothing.
And how comes you didn't take that free pit stop at the end? Just a small question.
I didn't want to. I didn't.
I could have probably stayed out and got him if he had.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, pretty nicely done and pretty smoothly controlled throughout and putting on good fireworks with Matteo Castellan. Jamie, similar story for you. Take us through from start to finish, and then for the first time your POV of the incident at 130R as well. And how happy are you with the amount of points secured over your rivals in both championships today?
I'm really happy with the finishing points. The incident Matteo at 130R, I don't know how it appeared on his screen, but mega desync. We wasn't even an overlap between us when he went spearing off. So I apologise to him if there was contact in his end. The race as a whole, it was brilliant. It was really fun. I really enjoyed battling with both Kimi and Matteo. It was a tough one. We were, with how different the cars were set up, with how Matteo's car was faster over a single lap, but worse on tyres. It really made a really interesting dynamic between our cars and his, with ours being slightly slower but much better on tyres. So it made for really good racing, and I 100% believe it would have gone right to the flag with the battling if it wasn't for the incidents at 130R and the incident under safety car.
Yeah, but how are you thinking these next couple of races will go then?
Just looking to ramp it up. Just keep doing, obviously not the contact, but keep ramping up the pressure. Don't let him, can't have him putting a foot wrong.
And a
Keep-
word on
keep
your
constant
teammate's
pressure.
performance today as well.
Yeah, I'm really happy with Kimmy. Yeah, he's done really well. He definitely had a lot of confidence, definitely more than me, to push on the older tyres. I was definitely pulling back a bit when my tyres got worn, but Kimmy just kept pushing, and that's how we won.
VRV, any
performance.
questions from you?
Yeah, a really controversial race. First of all, really good job. There was a lot of times where I doubted you, but you were on top. I have some question about the performance of the car. Do you think you reckon you can improve on something? Reckon you can? You feel confident enough, or you reckon that? Yeah, basically.
The car performance at the moment, I think I'm pretty happy with it. Obviously, there's some bits to do. There's small stuff, but as a whole, I think the car's pretty well nearing completion of development. There's not much more I think I can do. I mean, there's obviously always bits of engine optimization, but as we saw with the CR car, is mostly the only way to improve performance past this point is just give it more and more front end. But it just reduces drivability and tire wear. So I think there's small tunings we could be doing, but I think I'm pretty happy with the package as a whole.
Okay, and one more question about that incident going to 130R. Are you feeling like it was your fault, or what is your opinion on that incident?
No one's fault. It was desync.
Okay, well, we need to see that. But yeah, basically, really good race from both of you. It was really enjoyable to watch you battle with Caddy. Sadly, he got DNF'd, and Red Bull had a really bad race. But yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for the words or two. And I hope you celebrate your win well.
Thank you.
Will do.
All right, and let's see. I think I'll get Car Driver then as well, because he definitely should have been up there and contending this race for sure. I'll just drag these other guys back as well. Yeah, well, Canori difficulties today. Your teammate DNFing, and then export glitches plaguing you, and all sorts of other glitches and failures. I mean, is that a good way to summarize your race today?
Our car in the race, I'm not sure what happened. We had no straight line speed. It was mostly just drive to at least finish the race. Didn't help that I had a wheel failure about 1 hour into the race. I had a wheel failure, and yeah, I fell a lap down. And then after that, when the safety car came out with I think 4 minutes to go, my tires were dead cold, and I just kind of binned it at Deckner. I don't know how I got it back to the pit lane, but just not the race that me or Tuomi would have wanted today.
Your rivals Shadow
Hopefully
Racing get big points scored on yourself and Catalan Racing. Do you think that's going to be recoverable throughout the season?
We'll see. I don't have expectations as of right now, but we will
taking it race at a time, pretty much.
Yeah, because you never know what's going to happen race to race. Maybe we could finish on the podium. Maybe we could finish 2 laps down. Who knows? It really just let things pan out. And
any comment on the incident between Kate and Jamie, or were you not close enough to really see anything?
I think I was a lap down at that point, so I wasn't at all close to see it.
Well, how do you see that affecting the season, anyways?
Certainly affects Kate. I would just say that.
VRV, any questions from yourself?
Do you think the Evo package worked? Do you think are you gonna have a talk with the light creator of this car?
The Evo package, in theory, I think in testing, it seemed to work perfectly fine. In the race, though, it just seemed that it was crumbling apart, lap by lap. Well, I wouldn't say lap
And
by
a
lap,
word-
but it was just disappointing.
Yeah. And a word or two about your tire wear. Are you happy with that?
The tire wear, on the other hand, yeah, the tire wear was pretty good. I'd say I was able to maybe pull a few laps more than Kate in terms of tire wear. It's just I was nowhere near Kate in terms of raw pace this race.
Yeah. That's understandable. Okay, well, that concludes it.
Yep. Unfortunate to miss out on a
really
podium.
unfortunate race.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a good day. Best
And,
of,
yes, thank you.
good morning.
Yep. You too.
Oh, tried to about in the middle, but yeah, well, a pretty dramatic and spicy round 3 here for GT World Challenge here at the Season 7. 2 hours of Suzuka putting on some fireworks, and Kimi Dekunda and Shadow Racing being the ones able to come home with a 1-2 in the end. But that will be all from us then for the qualifying and for the race. Make sure you join the Discord server to find out what happens with those steward decisions and to see the final race result and standings. And if you want to take part, then you can begin your career also inside of BeamGP too by becoming a driver. Excuse me. And yeah, my thanks to Vayavi for joining me in the commentary box for the 2 hours today.
Yep.
And we will see you guys next
Thanks
week
a lot to you.
for the next GTWC race. Make sure you tune in at the same time and join us then. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for watching.